I saw your note about, let's see, is audio working now? I saw your note about being offline from Facebook, and I mad respect that choice, decision, and discipline. I think that's really good advice and good path, and I really have been trying to figure out how I can get control of things. Hello, Tony. Oh my gosh, it's 2 minutes to go. Should I get Periscope going or not? Guess I can just pop it right there. I don't know. What do you think? Should I give it a try? Tommy, isn't little Caleb awesome? I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but boy, has he exceeded my expectations on this awesome news network. Okay, Periscope. I know I have the app. All right, let me just make a post saying that I am live in case anybody wants to join us. There we go. Okay. Oops. One time. Two times. 1 o'clock. All right. Is that going to be too loud? I wonder. Oh boy. Let me just double check. Maybe this wasn't the best way to do this. Maybe I have to go with that. Nope, that's not it. That's probably it. There it is. All right, now I can see you in the chat room. Just went up live on Periscope. We are live on Hangouts. And I think we are ready to go. Yay! All right. Oh, I should probably take seconds of time. There we go. Okay. I am Halcyon. This is Hug Nation. Oh, before we go deep, let's just take a minute to get present. Not even a minute, just 15 seconds or so. And just close our eyes. Become aware of the sounds you hear. Simply receiving them, becoming aware of the sensations in your body, the temperature on your skin. different degrees of pressure under different articles of clothing, the pressure as you're grounded in your chair, just shifting your awareness to being mindful of this present moment, letting go of anything you need to do. Just sinking into receiving and appreciation. Thank you, universe, for this amazing gift. Amen. Actually, is this on? That's not going to work. Okay, so that is on. This is on. There you go. That'll be better. Okay, maybe not. Okay, we'll try this. If you're on Periscope. Welcome, Periscopers and Hangouters. Initially, welcome, Louisa. I do a little belief buffet topic recording, looking away from the camera, and then we go into the chat room. So I apologize if I miss any comments or questions as we are starting. Welcome, I am Halcyon. This is Hug Nation. What a treat to spend this moment with you. Today, the topic is the world is our spiritual gymnasium. Now, for a long time, I thought about the world as a classroom. But recently I've made a shift in the way that I'm thinking about it. And I'll try to explain why. A classroom has lesson plans and math problems and individual and collective lessons that can be figured out. There is a lock and a key that fits it. There is a math problem and an answer. You can solidly and completely complete and achieve and learn and grow. But a gymnasium isn't quite so clear-cut. When you go to the gym, there's no expectation that you're eventually going to lift up a weight that doesn't come down. Everything you lift in a gym comes back down. It's about the process of struggle. It's about pushing against the resistance. The process itself, the practice itself of lifting the weight is what you're trying to do. You're not trying to lift it and put it somewhere and then continue to put it up somewhere. You're just trying to practice, and in doing so, grow and become healthier. And I think that's significant because the other option, the classroom model, can at some point really become overwhelming. For example, in today's day and age, in a world where we have Trump ranting on the airwaves and a significant number of people saying, yeah, when we have global climate stuff, when we have financial inequality, while we have pollution, and why we have so many things that seem to be going poorly in the world, it feels like we've lost. It feels like not just we're losing, but maybe it's lost. And I recently got to a place where I felt like I'd lost my faith. I was using the term I lost my faith, but without really knowing what I meant by that. I just was feeling discouraged. I mean, here I am, the person who so frequently talks about focus on the good, crap or cone, focus on the good, focus on the good. And there was this thing inside me, this voice that kept saying, there's some real darkness out there that you need to focus on. There's some real bad stuff that requires you to be fighting against. It's irresponsible to just focus on spreading light. You need to get out there and sit with the dark. And even though I've had this cycle before, I still fell into that trap. And I spent more time digesting and sitting with and learning about things that were just really, you know what? It's not the learning about or the sitting with that is the problem. It's the falling into the trap of feeling like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is terrible. And I think the voice inside me was saying, you need to spend time, you need to acknowledge how crappy things are so that you get motivated to do something about it. That's the story that this voice in me wanted to convince me of. But that's not what happened at all. The more freaked out I got, the more I shut down. The less I did in the world, the less good I was putting into the world. It felt like the fight was over. It felt like it doesn't make a difference. It felt like the tide is just too strong. And so that idea of this war is unwinnable. Why am I fighting? And I think that, you can easily get convinced of that when you look at what's going on in the world. Like this round of humanity, we've lost, Hopefully the roaches will keep life alive, and we won't destroy the planet for too many other species, and maybe evolution will take us in a direction that is more responsible in the future. But that, like, shutting down is the opposite effect. That shutting down actually is giving up. And I started to think, like, maybe this is what a test of faith is in a modern secular world. Maybe this current landscape of the world where there's so much negative news, we're bombarded with negativity and tales of woe and doom, and you hear phrases like catastrophic as part of headlines. Maybe this state of struggle is our opportunity to demonstrate our faith. In the biblical stories, you have people like Job who gets tested by God. And if we looked at it as a metaphor, then we could be being tested by the universe right now. Will we give up? Will we say, there's nothing good about this place, this world, this life? Or will we continue to go, yeah, but look at all the incredible things. Yes, there is unwinnable war parts of this. Yes, there is tragedy. Yes, there is trends that we need to work on. But I'm going to just go, this ice cream tastes delicious. This sunset is gorgeous. This feeling of holding hands with this person is amazing. And from that strengthened place, from that place of faith, have the energy to actually do good and put light and heal the world. Letting go of that end objective of ridding the world of evil and darkness. That is never going to happen. That's why it's a gym. There is no, you don't finish this classroom on earth and go, all right, and carry the 4 + 2 equals, all right, 0. I balanced the equation. There's no more bad in the world. There's no more corruption. There's no more pollution. Ta-da! That's not how this experience works. This plane of existence on this planet is a gym with varying degrees of weight that we practice, varying degrees of struggle, varying degrees of frustration and conflict. And our opportunity is to have a healthy practice in this gym and gain strength. And just like when you first start going to a gym, or you get forced into some sort of athletic strenuous activity, if you're out of shape and you don't really care about that, it's going to suck and it's going to hurt and you're going to be sore and it's terrible. But if you have a practice, if you are working and you start having consistency, you get to a point where you love it, you crave it, you want to be constantly working and struggling. You don't see the gym as like, oh no, I have to lift all this weight today. You see the gym as, this is part of my practice of improving, of growing, of staying peaceful and healthy. And this wacky, frustrating world can be that as well. And just like in the gym, there are some people that are, or in the realm of athletic expression, there are some people who are totally oblivious. They have never even been to the gym. They are overweight. They are eating terribly. They are totally oblivious to the fact that this is a place where you're supposed to push yourself and get heavier. Excuse me, a place where you're supposed to push yourself and get healthier. And on the other end of the spectrum in the gym, you've got the crazed nuts who have 0% body fat, who basically enjoy nothing about life, don't ever have a piece of cake, don't do anything except for work on the health of their body. And I would argue that somewhere in the middle is the healthy path. And maybe the healthy path is the sweet spot for you. Maybe when you're first starting to work out, it's very low, and it's just adjusting your diet a little bit and strenuous activity a little bit. And then maybe that sweet spot, suddenly, well, gosh, it's so easy for me to walk a mile now. It's so easy for me to do 10 push-ups. I'm gonna push my line a little bit. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more. And as you get healthy, you feel better. And the same is true in this gym of life. Initially, when you know nothing and don't care about anything, you also don't have the benefit of that feeling of peace and strength. But as you start to practice a little bit, as you start to become aware a little bit, you start to go, oh, this practice that I was doing doesn't feel right anymore. You know, I used to just guzzle cases of bottled water. Now it doesn't feel so good anymore. So now I know that that is a practice that I'm going to try to be better at. Okay, now I'm a little bit in better shape. And now I'm noticing that in my interactions, I haven't been a good listener. All right, so I'm going to start practicing that. And in my relationship, I'm noticing that I'm making assumptions. Okay, I'm practicing, getting better, and trying to get more in alignment with our highest selves, with our divine selves. Never expecting to be divine, just like you never expect to go to the gym and become Arnold Schwarzenegger. On the far end of the athletic, you've got the Arnold Schwarzenegger. On the far end of the spiritual, you have something like a Jain aesthetic. The Jainists have this intense practice of ahisma, of nonviolence and doing no harm, to the point that they will sweep in front of them with a broom and wear a mask so that they do not accidentally step on or inhale a microscopic organism. They will not eat a root like a carrot or a beet, because to eat it would be to kill the entire plant. They eat fruit that drops from things. They don't even cook at night because of the danger of flying insects being attracted to a flame is higher. Now that is insane. Or it is a totally evolved being. But just like in the gym, we're not expected to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're not expected to be the Jainist. We find ourselves somewhere on the spectrum and then practice and then practice and then practice. And just like in the gym, if you don't practice, you will slip back. You will slip back. And so recently, I was consuming an unhealthy diet of information. I was not filling my belly with inspiring ideas and people and thoughts, and instead was having sugar-rich Fox News type information that got me out of shape, that got me feeling icky. And so that shift in awareness from winning the war to fighting honorably changes everything. It changes that voice inside that says, oh my gosh, sky is falling. Trump is this. There's the camps that are breeding terrorists. There's this and this. Like, yes, there are. Yes, there are. Absolutely. This is a crazy, violent, corrupt world. And I will encounter that stuff. And that, if I ever have to encounter one of those things, that's when I'm ready for a big day at the gym. All right, that guy just drove by, called me a name. All right, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm missing an appointment. Someone just yelled something at me. I hear on the news about a Trump rally, and maybe I lose my cool. Oh, I can't lift it today. That's what it's all about. It is that growth process. And I don't know, for me, like, just like recognizing that what if we're too far? What if the environment cannot be fixed? What if we are barreling into oblivion? Does that mean do nothing? Only if you believe that there's nothing beyond this physical world. Well, at least if you believe there's nothing beyond this physical world, you could be convinced of a very nihilistic perspective of like, what's the point of anything? But if you believe that there is realms of consciousness and awareness and universal wisdom beyond this planet, call it whatever you want, label it whatever you want, make it look like whatever you want. But if you have an awareness of something beyond this planet, then this planet can be the gymnasium for our spirit, for our consciousness. And just as a fetus, we graduated into this physical world, regardless of what happens to this planet, regardless of what happens to the political realms here, the health of our consciousness will determine what we are born into next. And I say all that with the understanding that all these ideas are trying to make sense of the unknowable. And we require a myth, we require a framework to make sense of it all. That's how the human brain works. And so this is the framework that is helping me to make sense of things right now, that is helping to steer me back into loving life. In my secular worldview, there are no demons, but there are stories that can bring darkness to the world. And so having faith, for me, my test of faith is to face the dark stories, to face the awareness of corruption and evil in the world, and still focus on the light, still love God, still love the experience of being alive. And so I think I just had a pretty heavy couple months in the spiritual gym, but I'm feeling like my faith is renewed. My connection to all that is beautiful in the world feels stronger than ever. And you are part of that. You are what is beautiful in the world. Sure, you've got rough days in the gym, but that's part of what makes you so beautiful. We are here not to sip pina coladas on the beach. We are here to hit the weights, to grow our spirit, to get free of the binds of our thoughts, and your presence here, and every person that is here plays a role in that education and that curriculum and that workout. So I am so appreciative of this journey, even when I sometimes curse the trainer and want to skip a leg day. So thank you for being a part of all of this. I love you. Let's have a hug. Grab yourself by the shoulders and appreciate this body. This body that we take to a physical gym, it houses the spirit that we take to the spiritual gym. And unlike a physical gym that you can choose to go to or not, the spiritual gym you wake up into every morning. You have no choice. So better get onto a program, better get a practice, better get in tune to it so that you can start to crave the burn. You can start to love the workouts and feel healthier and healthier. So in this moment, let's honor and appreciate all of our struggles and honor and appreciate all that we've learned and forgive all the stumbles. Give ourselves permission to experience this grand workout at whatever pace, whatever intensity makes sense for our journey. Let's take 3 breaths together. Ready? Inhale. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the Love Warriors, happy Hug Nation. I love you. Well, hopefully that made some sense. It's interesting. I actually initially sat down last week to write about this struggle that I was having, where I was feeling like I've lost my faith. You know, there's so much that sucks in the world. Every time I hear something good, I go, yeah, but. And I hear something good, I go, yeah, but. Or I hear somebody say something positive, I'm like, yeah, but. I'm like, who am I? This is not the way that I want to see the world. And what's worse, I know that the way you think about the world is how the world is reflected to you. Maybe even actually creates that reality. So knowing all that, what am I doing being so pessimistic? What am I doing shutting down positive thoughts and perspectives? But I was struggling. I couldn't turn it around. I had lost my faith. And then when I went to go write this process down just to get it out of my head because I kept thinking about it, I returned to that awareness. Oh, wait, right. What if the goal is not to end the darkness? What if the darkness is here as a gift for us? What if these are weights for us to lift, but they will remain heavy? Gravity is relentless, as is the darkness in the world. Periscope not working so good? Why don't I stop it? Yeah, there's nobody in there. Bye. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, so there's my visual aid. So here is let's see if this works. So here is the oblivious American on one side of the spectrum who is polluting and oblivious American contributing to all sorts of pollution and corruption without even really knowing what they're doing. But they have their iPad and they have a nice car and they could give a crap about anybody else. And then, over here you've got, someone who's maybe they're farming their own food, they're actually, I was and then over here we've got the Jainist who's breathing through a mask and sweeping in front of them and doing as little harm to the world as possible. Maybe over here doing better than me, I'm over here kind of in the center somewhere. Over here better than me is someone who's farming their own food organically, and they're buying reusable diapers, and they're doing the best they can while being a part of a culture that has some inherent violence to it. And either side of the spectrum are extreme. Ideally, we find the place somewhere on the spectrum where we feel at peace, and then we continue to practice and work and grow so that we remain at peace and we can sleep every night feeling like I am good in the world. And that line changes. I would guess that at some point in history, there were slave owners whipping their slaves all day long and slept fine because their awareness was such that that was not a problem. That was not at odds with their spiritual beliefs of being good in the world. And it's really just about finding. I don't know if you can see that. I've got the halo and over. That's not to taunt the actual physical weight of someone. This is more the like a fat cat or some irresponsible greedy person. Okay. Oh, a couple other ideas that I just popped in. I wanted to get in. So, maybe the goal is not to win. Maybe the goal is to face the struggle with honor and integrity. A saint doesn't become a saint because they put out the fire. A saint is deemed a saint because they kept their faith even as they were being engulfed in flames. And you know what? And even with all of this news stories about how bad everything is and is getting, the truth is it's not that bad. In fact, it's better than it's ever been. There is less violence. There is more higher standards of living. There is less disease. There is less child deaths. There is so many studies and statistics that show that actually it's better than it's ever been. Further evidence that it's always going to have struggle. The world is always going to have struggle. Our life is always going to have struggle. There's always struggle happening in our body in the constant battle of invading microbes and white blood cells. It is the nature of life. It is the nature of why we're here. Oops. When a thief looks at a saint, he sees only his pockets. All right, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna. I think I can. Let me see if I can play a video for you. Because what I'd like to do. Actually, yeah. Let me play this. This is a unreleased. Yeah. Do you like that mug? Can you see what it says? I bought it, brought it home, and I'm like, oh wow, I like big mugs, but this is like. If you drink a whole thing of coffee, that's like a pot of coffee. What was I going to try to do? Let's see if I can play a video. I want to play an unreleased. Well, let's see if I go cameraman, screen share. Let's see. What'll happen if I hit screen share? Will I get myself in trouble? I don't think so. Okay. Oh, wait. That's not going to work. Okay, in that case, I'm going to run to the restroom and grab this hard drive, and I'll be right back. Oh, actually, here's the hard drive. So this is going to be an unreleased episode of the Awesome News Network. Maybe you have seen the other ones or seen Caleb talking about it. It's been a super kick in the pants. Let's see if I can do this. Come on. Share. All right, stop. Hopefully that played. Oops. All right. No audio. Oh man. What? Oh. Let me try one more time. Oh. No audio. Okay. Maybe it's not worth doing. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to try one more time to see if I can see what happened. Share. Play.
So today I'm going to talk about this kid named Micah. He's 9 years old. He's doing one of the most amazing things I've ever heard of. He is giving Legos to these kids in Uganda that have never seen it before. And it brings me so much joy to see how happy they are. They're so creative. They're loving it. There was like this 2-year-old building this little tower thing. It was beautiful. He's doing this for no reward. He knows he's going to get nothing but happiness. That's better than $1 million. Being happy is the best gift ever. Giving happiness is just so amazing. Each piece brings more happiness to the world. Now these kids, I bet they're going to try and do good things too. This is Caleb with the Awesome News Network. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed it.
All right, so hopefully that worked a little bit. Let me just hit this recording. So, I've been super, okay, so one of the things that rescued me from a place of darkness I was in was a email from an angel. My nephew Caleb asked his dad to write me a note, and he wrote me this email with this idea he had for the Awesome News Network. He caught some of the news, and it just really shook him up. And he saw dead bodies, and he just was like, "Why do people watch this?" And after talking with my brother for a while, he said, "Well, let's make a show with just good news." And so, like, absolutely. And the more I thought about it, I was like, wow, you know, the last time I had a significant, maybe not the last time, but I had a significant shift in my life direction when I stopped making videos about me and instead directed attention to a relative named Caleb. And here was this project to get excited about where I would be putting the attention on a relative named Caleb. So I got just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I can't wait. And so for Christmas, I gave Caleb a business card that said, executive producer and host, awesomenewsnetwork.com. I bought him a domain name, set up a Facebook page and YouTube channel, hoping that, you know, we could keep the momentum going. And he was psyched. And so we filmed a bunch of footage over the holidays, and we're going to be doing interviews with people, but we're also just kind of highlighting positive news, the kind of like things you'd see on Upworthy, except having that news brought to you by a 9-year-old. And so we started, I would play him a video and then have him talk about it. And I was not prepared for how he took it. The direction that he took it in was not just telling you the news story, but commentary about how great it is and how important it is to love people and share love and be connected. And I'm like, I didn't tell him to say any of that stuff. And I have been so excited. He's been knocking out of the park. It's easy to see a little bit of myself in the little man. And maybe that's why I'm so excited. But it's also just so beautiful to see these kind of pure ideas coming through this innocent little kid. And I'm excited, really excited about this direction going into the new year. I hope that you subscribe to the Awesome News Network on YouTube and follow the Facebook page. And if you see items in the news or items in your neighborhood or in your life that are awesome, please pass it on so that Caleb can talk about it. The point is that it doesn't have to be grand things. It's just putting the attention on the good, whether it's a tiny thing. We might even like interview a new parent to talk to them about the joy of having a baby, or someone who has a job that they feel good about. There's all different ways that awesomeness shows up for us beyond, you know, the grand news stories involving millions of participants and world-changing events. Everything changes the world, even the tiny things. So I'm super excited. I'm you know, for the longest time I wanted to do a video project with my nephews, and the attention span and the focus has just been really, hasn't really been there until now. And now it's like, okay, now child labor laws, let's get you into the coal mines making videos. What else? Oh, and then I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I'm loving it. And oh my gosh, he flipping loves feedback. He loves, like, every time I hang out with him, he wants to go on Periscope and talk and get attention. He just loves the attention. I'm like, oh my gosh. He suffers from the same psychological affliction as his uncle. Poor guy. But if you can channel that into goodness, then we're good. All right. Oh, other thing I want to talk about. So today is the first, actually, I guess I would like to announce a new program, a collaboration that I'm doing with Voltage Coil. Voltage Coil is an insane clothing designer brand who a lot of my outfits that I have worn for ceremonies and for the burn last few years have been from Voltage Coil. And the idea is she's going to make me shirts to wear on the show, and then they will be available for sale each week. So what I'm wearing right now is for sale. It is available from Voltage Coil. It is part of the Halcyon line of shirts and vests. They are one of a kind, upcycled. And here's the kicker. All the profits are going to go to First Saturdays. So we're going to recover costs, and then the profits will go to First Saturdays. They're $50 for handmade, one of a kind, upcycled. They are part of internet history. They will be on the archives and screenshots forever, and they will be yours. They are mediums, fitting a 165-pound man right now. But if people have desires for anything else, she does incredible commissions, and there's things in the Etsy store. So stay tuned for me having cool new outfits each week that will then be available to purchase to raise money for First Saturdays. Isn't that cool? Maybe I should, well, I guess I'll model it more later, but it's yes. All right, it's now a time, 1:45. And this is the last Hug Nation before 2016, right? So I'll be honest, most years I just say, it's getting better and better. It's getting better and better. It's getting better and better. This last year was a hard one for me. Definitely feel like there was some struggles that I had not had in the past this year. Looking forward, I see people post, I can't wait for this year to end. And I'm always like, what are you talking about? It gets better and better. And then this year I'm kind of like, all right, I'm ready for 2016. I'm ready to, and luckily, after several months of really feeling like I couldn't get my footing, right now I feel very much again, you know, a combination of Awesome News Network, and I feel like I had this epiphany of my loss of faith, and I had this, you know, the rejuvenation of the trip, and now I'm on unemployment, so and I have insurance as of the first of the month through Covered California. So I'm just feeling like feel like I'm looking forward to the 2016 and seeing where that goes. Redskin pointed out that there might be a correlation between the mug size and bathroom visits, and that might be accurate. You are amazing, though. Let's see. I have a list of the things each year. I put together a year in review of myself for like kind of trying to remember the highlights of what happened that year, which is cool for me to go back. You know, like it seems like at the end of every year, I'm like, geez, nothing happened this year. And then when I go back through my updates and go back through things, I'm like, oh wait, this was the year that I did this for the first time, or this was the year that this happened, or this is the year that this happened. And so I just finished, I'm going to send it out in my newsletter and put on a Facebook post, my 2015 list. Let's see if I can just, if anyone have a something or things that happened this year that were like big milestones for you. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to share. Okay. Wait. All right. Well, I'm going to read you my list just as like, okay, these are the cool things that happened this year. Consulted with the mayor of Ventura and helped launch the Ventura Kindness Project. Spoke to the Ventura Chamber of Commerce about gratitude. Started up a newsletter, and hopefully you're subscribed. Celebrated 5 years of First Saturdays. 6 years is actually in February. Started up an audio podcast version of Hug Nation. Not sure if any of you guys listen to that. Probably not if you listen to the full here. I ended my amazing chapter at Fresh Realm and became a full-time philosopher. Helped bring Pink Heart to Burning Man, Utopia, Lucidity, and Leyenda Eterna. Started the Pink Hearted Facebook group. Made more Burning Man tips and tricks videos and Burning Man commentary for the Burning Man blog. Led the final opening ceremony of Leyenda Eterna in Baja. Had a video clip go viral with 20 million views across the web. If you look at the English and foreign language and the Upworthy and the YouTube, it's right around 20 million. Was sampled in a rad electronic dance music track by Graham Bolger. These are the 10 principles of Burning Man. Not sure if I think I've played that in the past. I started making digestible Hug Nation clips. Traveled in Bali for 3 weeks with Brandy, the first non-festival vacation in over a decade. And finally launched the Awesome News Network, produced and hosted by 9-year-old nephew Caleb. Ta-da! Okay, there's one other thing that I forgot that I was going to tell you. Oops. Oh, here they're coming in. Joyous moved to San Diego. Ta-da! Amy, hello. First year of full-time school, building business and falling in love. Well, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Dale said, got my deposit in for the Firewalk instructor training and started getting donations for streaming Vita games. Video games? Vita games online. Congratulations, Dale. Tommy, Hug Nation, the family, Utopia, First Saturdays, all things pink. You became a reverend. What an awesome year. The USA became the first non-Asian team to win the OSU World Cup. Well, that is exciting. It's time to break their stranglehold on video games. Interesting. Well, if you're ever in a competition that we can watch online, let us know. All right. Okay, this is the thing I wanted to share. So, if you've followed me a long time, you know that I have a fun and awesome family, and we each year do a special letter to Santa. Once we became grown-ups, my brother and I started leaving out a letter to Santa that was very adult in nature. And sometimes we pushed the line. Like we put out like what looked like fake lines of cocaine and said, "Gosh, how do you stay up all night, Santa? Maybe this will help." One year we've left out frankincense and myrrh cologne so that he doesn't smell so bad after working all night. We've left out, sometimes we make them topical. We try to bring in the news, or one year I left out we left out carrots and celery and said, you're too overweight, it's unhealthy. And that was the year that I got charcoal in my stocking as a kind of like you're pushing it too far, little man. It was very funny, actually, but I was scared. I was like, oh shit, I broke it. And so it's kind of become this thing where we write something funny each Christmas Eve, and Santa writes us a very funny response. It's just a little piece of our family art and creativity that I really I treasure. So this year, I was trying to figure out what we were going to make it about. And I was like, what's in the news? Should we do something about Trump? I'm like, oh, I really don't want to make it. Like 2 years ago, we did one about Edward Snowden hiding out at the North Pole. And so I was like, you know what? Star Wars will be perfect. Okay, so this is the letter and the response from Santa. We call it eggnography. Actually, I have the domain eggnography.com. All right. Dear Santa, while many wonder how you travel around the world in a night or go up and down chimneys, we know the truth. It's pretty obvious that you are a Jedi Knight. Maybe it's the proximity to the North Pole that kicks your midichlorians into high gear. It takes some Yoda-like force to be able to know who is naughty and who is nice. Despite all the Fox News rhetoric against the rebel scum, we are proud to have you or any Jedi in our home. If you have a free sec, could you answer a few questions about your adventures and alternative lifestyle? 1. Is being on the naughty list a reliable predictor of who succumbs to the dark side? 2. Are Prancer, Blitzen, and Donna actually Wookiees? Donner. 3. Can your sleigh make the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs? And 4. Did Mrs. Klaus ever date Lando Calrissian? Thanks for all you do for the children of the Earth and for the ones in galaxies far, far away. Love, Jimmy and Johnny. He said, P.S. Is this one of your elves? And it was a picture of Yoda in a Santa suit. And the response, here it is. The response, Dear Jimmy and Johnny, I'm amazed that it's taken so long for my true identity to be figured out. Of course I'm a Jedi Knight. Only the intense training by the Masters could have prepared me for this yearly journey. I spend my year honing my skills with the Force. As to your questions, I never wish to put anyone on the naughty list. However, it's sometimes necessary. The dark side can be very powerful. I always hope they can be turned around towards good. As to my sleigh, I do cover a large area in a short night, but 12 parsecs is plenty of time. I'm able to cover the Earth and galaxies far, far away. It's all in the manual. You'll have to ask Mrs. Claus about the last question. Lando and I are no longer on speaking terms since his last visit. Remember to stay on the nice list, and may the Force be with you. Till next year, Santa. Oh man. I sure love it. You can see some of the past letters back and forth and the graphics we've made for it on eggnography.com or the facebook.com/eggnography. Good stuff. All right, and we were closing in on the 2 o'clock hour. I'm so grateful. Yes, Virginia, there is a Jedi Santa. May the Force be with us. Damn, World Cup. Good for you, man. 4th 100-pound dog. Oh my goodness. I've been having dreams about dogs. Interesting. They're not sex dreams though, so don't worry. Okay. Thank you guys for coming out today for the last Hug Nation of the year. Hope the last few days of the year are everything that you hope for and give you a chance to kind of ramp up into 2016. I encourage everyone to kind of maybe not write resolutions, but try to write out what you want things to look like a year from now. Something that I've been trying to do more of is actually commit. Not like I want to be financially secure, but like I want to have $20,000 a month coming in from YouTube ads or something like that, just like, and just give a blueprint to the universe to help you out and get you there over the next amazing year. Cannot wait to share 2016 with you. Cannot wait to share more of the Awesome News Network. Thank you for being who you are and shining the light and sharing this path. I feel so honored to have had 2015 intertwined digitally or physically, definitely spiritually, with you. I love you. And if you have interest in purchasing this shirt, send me a message. I will try to put up some additional pictures. Obviously, the way we're going to do this is I think it'll go on sale as soon as the broadcast starts, and the first person to PayPal, which for me is paypal@stim.net, they get the shirt. And there's obviously only one of them, but if you like the style of shirt, then she can make something similar. We can talk more about that. I love you. Bye.